Okay.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the eighth interview of Data Channel. Today, I have with me Dr. Leila Etaati joining me from New Zealand. She is a data platform MVP, a doctorate holder in data science, and she has spoken literally on almost every prestigious forum on Microsoft Data Platform. More than anything else, my good friend, and very glad to have you, Leela. How are you doing?
Thank you, Noreen. That's really great to actually to have you and also talk to you. Thank you for this opportunity, and it's my pleasure. Yeah, thank you. It's a
It's
sunny weather here in New Zealand. Thank you.
That's great. It's my honor and my pride to have you on Data Channel. Today, we as discussed, we are going to talk about machine learning in Microsoft Data Platform.
Yeah,
Are we good to go?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm the one of my interests actually is that machine learning that we have in Microsoft. So yeah, absolutely. And also, I know that you're also one of the person that's working in that. So yeah, it's my pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Thanks to your guidance as well. I always reach out to Leela. She's one of the first persons in the Microsoft community whom I look up to and reach out to. Thanks a lot. So first to get started, what is machine learning for our viewers? Would you like to explain that?
Machine learning is about the machine that can learn from the data that we already have and able to find a pattern that help us to predict the future or find the pattern in the data or help us into the recommendation. So the main machine learning is part of the AI, artificial intelligence, and is all about that learning from data and based on that create model and then be able to predict the future. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What kind of applications do you think will actually benefit from machine learning?
It's actually healthcare. I think so. One of the main fields in the industry that use data sciences, machine learning, or healthcare. And in the second step, I think so financial because they have lots of data, and also insurance company are in the third place that actually use machine learning a lot. But these days, I think so any industry from real estate, from production, they also able to use it. But I think healthcare, insurance, and finance was one of the pioneer in this
Okay.
area.
Would
Yeah.
you like to just give us some application as in reality where you have seen how it is actually getting implemented, say in healthcare? Is it in diagnosis or how
Absolutely.
are
Yeah.
there any cute? I understand that almost in every walk of our lives there is machine learning that gets applied. So would you like to just give our viewers a little example so that they understand how this technology is being applied in real life?
Yeah, as you said that, yeah, you said the correct one in diagnosis in actually in healthcare in for DNA categorizing. So, for example, in genetic and biology, they use it to actually to classify the data that they have to find a very nice pattern. In insurance company, for example, it has been used a lot for predicting the customer churn, and also the same for finance to predict to using the time series to see that what will be happen through the for the sales and the other. So yeah, it has been used in
So
different areas. Yeah.
it's in some sense a game changing or a life changing one when we talk about diagnosis or in insurance firms and so on. Yeah. So how does Microsoft actually? What are the services they offer in machine learning?
Microsoft is really actually is a start from the 2004 or 5 with the data mining. It comes in the, as you know, in SSAS tools. We have that one. It's also is a very good one. Maybe it's not that much flexible, but still it has a really good presentation. After that, it comes I think so in 2014 that they introduced Azure ML as a kind of the web cloud actually machine learning tools. That was really powerful because it provides lots of algorithm that Microsoft use it in the Xbox, in Bing search. So most of these algorithms has been actually tried and used by Microsoft team. So it's provided a opportunity for the other users to use these algorithms for doing their own machine learning. And also, so yeah, Azure ML as a really good platform there. And the next step, they coming and actually integrate R. So everyone knows R actually. R is one of the powerful machine learning language that we can use. So Microsoft did a really good job to integrate R in and bring it into Azure ML in 2014. And the next year, in 2015, they actually provide a platform that people are able to write R codes inside the Power BI. So you know that now Power BI is one of the very good tools for self-service BI, and it's really great tools for doing the ETL and BI stuff. So we have data, now we can apply machine learning on that using R scripts. And they are still doing that, and in 2016 they provide R with actually with SQL Server 2016 that you also work on that. And that's also another amazing thing because we can do a lots of data transformation and collecting data in SQL Server and then apply the R. And in 2017, now they provide Python. So for the people who knows Python, they can use Python inside SQL Server 2017. Also, I should add to that that people who knows Python also able to use in Azure ML. I forgot to tell that one. So Microsoft actually bring a lots of facility for the data scientists and also for BI user to benefit from the machine learning tools that actually exist. And yeah, I think so. It's really good progress.
Wow, that's awesome. That was a real quick overview of how machine learning has progressed in Microsoft stack, right? From SSIS, which I wasn't aware what machine learning components are there in SSIS, and then moving on to onto Azure ML, and then inside Power BI, and then R integration, and then with Python as well. Wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. Just for our viewers, even I am curious too. In terms of for on SSIS, what were the options initially? You said in 2004 they introduced it, 2005. So what were the options? How could one do machine learning on SSIS?
Oh, it's actually maybe I'm have to correct. It's kind of the data mining approach. So we have about 9 algorithms there from decision tree, clustering, neural network, and the others that I do not remember. That has a really good presentation. The visualization was really great. The only problem with that, you couldn't that much change the algorithm. So the algorithms kind of the black box and people just able to use them. But the good things about the now that they have is that there is lots of flexibility. So it's provide people can actually apply and change the parameter or write their own algorithm. So I think so is much better than the previous version. Yeah.
Awesome. So just to before we get into these individual implementation options available within Microsoft, I would just like to ask you a fundamental question. What are the basic phases in machine learning process? What is a machine learning project or process all about?
Oh, that's a really good question. So yeah, the first step is actually to find out what's the needs of the company. So what they need to do machine learning. Are they going to predict the value? Are they going to predict the class? Or they just want to see the natural trend in the data? Or sometimes they want to do some recommendation. So the nature of the question that they want to solve is really important. So they should know that. In the next step, so they have a question, they think that machine learning can help them. They need to look at the data and just not as a data analysis, as a someone that knows the data. So they know that, for example, how each factor will impact, for example, on their sales. So there should be some business person that knows the business and able to identify the base factor. And also, beside that, we have some data wrangling, data collection, kind of not ETL equal to ETL, but kind of the ETL if I want to in a BI language, if I said, but it's not exactly that one. So, and also data wrangling, doing some data cleaning, missing value, finding the best attribute that impact on that column that we want to predict. We call it feature selection.
Okay.
And this is kind of the data preparation. And always says that it take about between 60 to 70 percentage of the time has been used just for that part.
So,
And
sorry to interrupt. When you say data preparation, it is about the test data that we are talking about, meaning we need to collect certain amount of test data and we need to prepare, analyze, and understand which attributes can actually help us in our question, right?
absolutely, yeah. It's just about data preparation and after that, so actually in the third major step, we are going to choose the model. So we couldn't use model for any type of data or for any type of question. So it depends on the question that we have, depends on nature of the data that we have, and also it depends on the nature of the algorithm that we are going to use. So for example, neural network is or one of the deep learning approach is really good and powerful, but it takes long. So for example, if someone using Azure ML and it has a account there, so it actually take a lot of time to run, and actually the whole process maybe take long. So they should look at the cost and also the time, and also the parameter that they have and the other. So this is choosing the model. Then actually, because it's a machine learning process, we should divide our data set in some parts for training, some parts for testing. We create the model out of the training model, then we test it, and using different measures to evaluate that. So each algorithm, each where each module has its own evaluation procedure, and then we look at and see that if it's okay, so that's we are lucky. And most of the time it's not like that. We have to back and again do the feature selection, do the maybe apply different algorithm, change the parameter, or also apply the data apply the model in different data sets, parts of the data set that we have, to see that which algorithm actually can help us. So in a short, I can say this is the process
Yeah.
that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I understand correctly, so it's first we need to have a problem statement, what we are trying to solve, get someone to analyze with the business knowledge on the data, and then clean and
Yes,
massage the data, and then pick your algorithms and try to evaluate it by splitting it into testing and untraining, and then you keep doing the process till you are satisfied with what you have, right? That's
absolutely. Yeah.
quite a lot of work, indeed, isn't
Yes,
it? So
absolutely.
no wonder data scientists are so valuable in this process.
Yes.
Okay.
And high paid, yeah. One of the high paid, yeah. Actually,
Great.
one of the high paid jobs, yeah.
So, how do you think? How does Azure ML, which is probably the most happening uh, component on Microsoft Data Platform for machine learning, how does it contribute? How does it work in this kind of projects?
Oh, actually, Azure ML is provide a facility for the people who they have own data in the cloud, so they can easily pass it through maybe a Stream Analytics or through Data Factory to Azure ML and get some insight from their data. And also a good thing that Azure ML provide a very easy, fast creating applications. So because it's a drag and drop environment, people can easily create the experiment, create the model, test them, and find out that what's the problem there, and also be able to create the web service out of them.
Okay.
So these web service can be used by any applications, from Excel, from the Windows application and web applications or mobile applications. So it provides a very fast prototyping for the people.
Okay. So basically the drag and drop approach of Azure ML, which actually also has the algorithms also defined, right? So does that mean a user does not need to sit and code these algorithms, right?
Yeah, actually, yeah, they do not need to write the algorithm. The algorithm exists there. For example, there are about 25 algorithm for four main categories, and they just have to drag and drop the algorithm there. And creating experiment is really fast there, actually. So, and also even they have some tools for enhancing the model, like cross validation, tune hypermodel. So they really provide a very easy to access, and also creating the web service is one of the, I think so, one of the main important things that we have in Azure.
You also can do workflows as well, meaning the training, testing. You can build it up as a one single huge component, right? Because the data source can also reside on Azure, and if I understand correctly, right?
Absolutely, yes, yes. That's like a SSIS thing. It has a kind of the workflow that is really easy to understand. And sometimes actually use that one to, because some people are not that much familiar with the concept of machine learning, and also really good resource to show them that how Azure ML works. So we actually provide some demo for people who are not know about any machine learning. So it's really understand for anyone. So even for prototyping and getting people familiar with that also is really good approach.
Oh, that's nice. So it can even help beginners to pick up machine learning pretty easily. That's great.
So,
So when we look at, because you brought about beginners picking up, are may I know you are not a Microsoft licensing person, but roughly what are the costs involved, and what are the factors does the cost of machine learning component involve in Azure? Are they priced by data size?
about the price wise, for the per transaction, there's
Okay.
a price, so they have different tier for the per transaction people should pay,
Okay.
and also yeah. So this is the one. But for example, if they have their own database in Azure SQL, so that's cost a lot because they have to store there. So it depends.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but I know that for it is for per transaction. I'm not sure exactly about the
Okay.
dollar, but
No worries.
just yeah.
Anyways, we are purely about technology more than the business part of it. That's fine.
Yes.
So okay, interesting things. So if somebody, let's say an architect actually decides to use Azure ML, so what are the things he needs to consider, or what are the things he needs to be aware of? The pros, the cons. What are the things he should have thought about?
Oh, yeah, that's a really good question. So, about the thing, so yeah, that's really easy to create. So, it's really help them to actually provide a kind of joint environment, so everyone in a team can work on that. So that's really good things about that. About the fast prototyping, that's also really good. And also it's connection between the stream analytics and the other. So if their customer has the information in cloud, so it's also really fast. But the problem is that if they have their own on premises, then they should to have some. They should purchase some some plan to actually get the data from on premises to Azure ML. So that's maybe become a thing.
Okay.
And also definitely creation the API for non-commercial use is actually free, but if they are going to use as a commercial one, they have to pay. So I think so in my mind, if people have their own in Azure, their data is in Azure SQL database, or it's kind of the live data streaming or anything, it's really good to use Azure ML. But if they have their own data on premises, uh, if and for example, if they use their reporting in the, for example, in Power BI, so it's better to use R in Power BI.
Okay.
Or for example, if they have do most of the works in SQL Server and they have someone that can write actually R codes inside SQL Server, so that's really good to actually do that there. So it depends on where the data is and also how much they are familiar. So if they are not familiar with R, I think so using Azure ML is a really good
That's
suggestion.
that's that's cool. So that gives us enough insight on how actually to pick which technology depending upon where we have the data, and also depending upon what kind of expertise you have, your exposure to R and machine learning. Okay, you brought about, interestingly, you also brought about Power BI. So just to our viewers who do not know what Power BI is, can you give us a quick introduction about it?
So Power BI is a self-service BI that's actually provide people can do the ETL, that is extract, transfer, and load the data. There is really easy to use. So much is not kind of user friendly, so everyone can kind of actually do something there. But actually, it's also really powerful. It has AIM and DAX language that make it really powerful, and also is growing, and they really doing the great job on enhancing the quality of that. So it's kind of the self-service BI that has whole of the actually you can get the data, transfer the data, and visual the data there. And also they now provide the opportunity and also facility that people also do the machine learning inside that.
Okay, what are the options available within Power BI for machine learning? How can people play around with it?
So they provide two things actually there. First, visualization. So you know that in R we have a really interesting visualization, correlation analysis, and also the other that is really interesting, decision tree and the other. So they provide visualization parts for that people able to write their own R code there and visualize the thing. Another one is inside the Power Query. That's actually a place that we can extract the data, and we normally use M language there. So actually R is able there, and people able to run the R code there, get the prediction, and then show the result inside the Power BI. And also a good thing is that most of the before that, I can say before a month ago, we're not able to use all of the packages. For example, we have really nice packages in R like Plotly, HTML widget, and the other that was so nice. They are interactive, they have 3D things, you can zoom it and zoom out. But now they actually provide that, so that's really good thing. So you can actually, most of the packages that you use, you can do. So you can do market basket analysis, clustering, prediction, neural network, and anything in R now.
So almost all the most of the packages on RevoScale R can be added, or Microsoft R can be added to Power BI. That's great. That's great. So it makes it indeed a powerful combination, right? Because you can visualize very nicely. You can also plug in your data and also you can also do your analysis on Power BI itself.
Yeah, exactly. That's correct. Yeah.
By the way, you have a Power BI expert or a wizard in your family itself. So, Mr. Riza, Leela's husband, is probably one of the biggest names in Power BI. Sometimes I casually just deviating from the interview. Sometimes I wonder your home should look like a lab, because you are a data scientist and he's a 6-7 year MVP, MCT, and so on. So I don't know how your home actually looks. Power BI graphs. Okay, today what we can cook? Okay, let's check out the graph. So how healthy are we going to be? Let's use one algorithm to check how much of calories are we going to burn, and so on.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. You know that. But thank you. Yeah, thank you.
That's great. That's great. Wonderful. So moving on. So how does you also mentioned about R with SQL Server? How do you see that as an improvement in terms of machine learning and opportunities to implement these algorithms?
So actually, you know that still we have a lots of DBA users. So DBA is actually one of the main topic of the data platform. So these actually provided good things for them to apply the analytics and do the machine learning inside the SQL Server. So it's actually is very easy. There is a R server that most of the packages have been there, and also Microsoft has its own also packages or evolutionary that they can actually use. They create their own actually decision tree and the other algorithm. So people who know SQL Server, they can actually embed the R code inside there. So most of the format is like a store procedure. That's there is a store procedure that people able to actually put their R code there and actually get the prediction through that. And I think so that's also really important because data is there, and SQL Server is really good place to actually work with data, store the data, and now able to write the data using the R server can provide a lots of things for people. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Does Python, the new addition in SQL Server in 2017, so does that also have the machine learning capabilities as well? The same capabilities?
Yes, the same capability. There is always kind of challenge between them. So some people are fan of R, some people are fan of Python, but both of them has kind of the good things and bad things. So from my perspective, Python is really good for text mining.
Okay.
So sometimes I found that's great, but I'm saying that I'm not a very good Python things. It's still I'm just going on that. I'm working on that. But yeah, that's we have different user, Python user, R user. So it's really good actually to have both of them able to write in SQL Server.
That's great. That's great. So that's great. Interesting things you have brought up. So before we come to the end of this interview, one final question: like, what are the would you like for someone like me who is actually exploring machine learning in the recent times? What are the good materials on available on the internet space you would like to recommend?
So that's a good thing about R because R is an open source and has a really good community. So you can Kaggle is a website that you can find. R Code Camp is one of the really good one. R bloggers actually I really use that one. So yeah, that's a huge actually community and you're really active and really good responsive. So if you actually when I'm working the code and I couldn't find out how to work it, you're really good and that's a good thing I think so. So for example I can say that we are really lucky for R because R we can find, but unfortunately for Azure ML still we do not have that much big community that help us to do that, so maybe that one should be improved a bit. But for R there's a really good community and also websites that help us in this way. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. So Kaggle, R Blogger are good websites we can look at. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, our blogger, Kaggle, and also our data camp. They are real. Yeah.
Any textbooks you would recommend because it involves data science algorithms, some certain degree of mathematics as well?
Yep, there is a book actually that I'm using myself in the because you know that we can look at machine learning from statistic point or from the application point. So people who comes from the actually statistics, so they know that they more interested into going to statistic things and learning the machine learning through that. But people who came from the business perspective, from the BI perspective, I'm one of the kind of that because I'm also working in BI for many years. There is a book named Machine Learning with R for Pack Publishing. That's actually I found that book is really good because it's right in a way that everyone actually, even they don't know a statistic, they can understand. So always in training, suggest that one. I can send the link after the session. So if you want to share with
I will
people.
certainly share that. Yeah, sure. Thanks a lot.
So that's for pack publishing, and also, yep. So I'm saying that there are lots of community that's able to help. Yeah.
And of course, our dear viewers, you can also follow people like Leela, who is a vibrant contributor on always on the internet, on the forums and so on. So yeah, so there are enough people who contributing like Leela to help you out. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Okay. So it was excellent having you for Data Channel, Leela. Thanks a lot for joining us on a Sunday morning. So it was very, very special of you. Thanks a lot, kind of you to join us. So hope you have a very good time and keep contributing as always. Thank you.
Thanks so much for this opportunity, and and that's a really good actually thing, especially we doesn't have that one before. That's a really interesting, so people can able to actually see the different topics. Thank you for that contribution. Thanks so much.